Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Joe Emilio Show. I'm your host, Joe Emilio. And tonight we talk about cancel culture, we talk about communism, and we talk about the media flaws. We're going to look at some articles that discuss this. And later, it's another panel night, and I'm joined by Ernst van Sale from Ampliform. I'm joined by Marius Rutt from IRR, and I'm also joined by Rob Hutchinson from Dear SA. So all that and a lot more coming up, ladies and gentlemen, just after this. Boom, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. All right, cool. So, like I said, panel night tonight, 8 p.m. is when three gentlemen are going to join me, and we're going to talk about ending the state of disaster, ladies and gentlemen. All three organizations, Ampliform, IRR, and DRSA, are busy trying to end the state of disaster. We're going to talk about that. I have some questions. You know, how far are they, and what are some of the hurdles, as well as basically, like, there's a concern I have because Cyril said that there's some litigation that they're trying to make kind of last forever because they're going to put it in the Health Act or some cuck like that. So we're waiting to see what that is, and I want to know if that's even possible. If it is possible, how do these organizations plan to fight against it? Are they at all able to fight against it? All this and a lot more coming up, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to discuss with you guys a few things in this hour. I'm just going to wait a little bit for everybody to kind of hop on. I'm sure everybody is getting all. I hope YouTube is sending out those notifications. I really hope so. But yeah, how are you guys doing? For those of you that are listening, let me know in the chats. Let me know that you're here. Say hi. Don't be shy. That rhymed. Vut, it says that you became a member again. So thank you so much for becoming a member. It's really appreciated. It doesn't tell me, but I can check. Did you become a what's it called? A headliner or a support act? Either way, like, I'm truly grateful. Like, you guys, become a member for as little as 60 Rand. You can become a member to this channel, and it helps a lot. It really, really does help a lot to keep this channel going. And ladies and gentlemen, Vut has become a support act. Thank you so much, Vut, for becoming a support act to this channel. There's support act and headliner act. If you guys want to, you can become a member. You get some perks depending on the tier. Anyway, enough of that. Let's see. What are we going to start with today? Let's start with this. All right. So I have all these articles I'm about to show you linked in the description below, so you can go there now and check it out for yourself. You can read along. I'm not going to read everything. Okay. I'm not going to go through everything. I just picked out some parts of the articles that I wanted to kind of chat about. First one is from Rob Dygan. I'm sure you guys remember Rob Dygan. I need to get him back on the show. He wrote an article giving his opinion on, well, I'm going to show it to you. So yeah, there we go. Marhobane. So there's the title. A little bit nervous to say the title because of YouTube. It might be a red flag. But public coverage of Malema's hate speech trial. So as you can see, he released this yesterday. Robert Dygan, there he is. And it's very interesting, compelling, and thought-provoking, yet rational article that he's written. I'm not going to go through all of it. Like I said, it's linked in the description below. You guys can go have a little read for yourself if you want to. You don't have to, obviously. But yeah, I just want to show you guys some of this stuff, or read some of that. Oh man, there we go. I know that's where it was. All right. So this part that Rob points out here, I think is quite interesting. Okay, so he was saying here that Oppenheimer managed to get Malema to admit the following: one, that he intended to use mass violence to remove all white people from the land. And then he puts in parentheses, the EFF is a militant revolutionary force aimed at depriving every white person of all property. Number 2, that he believes genocide is an acceptable policy option. He would not rule out slaughtering of white people. And then he knows that his songs cause people to commit violent acts. So, again, Julius admitted to this in one way or another, claiming to have stopped singing the song with his original lyrics because it might encourage people to kill black farmers. Of course, this only happened after being ordered to shut up by the courts. So it was the courts actually that caused him to change the song. And this is enough to prove that Malema's use of the song Shoot the Boer is a writing injunction to racial homicide. Oppenheimer, by any reasonable standard, has won his case. But Malema is not alone in his defense. Not one journalist admitted this, nor considered the EFF's program to be a problem. Every black politician in the entire country considers him a good man who speaks truth to dead powers. Not one journalist wrote as if Malema had showed any character flaws. He was praised like a conquering hero by virtually every public figure with a platform on social media. And it's sad. It's really sad because Rob brings good points. And again, you guys can watch the entire you can read the entire article. I've linked it below. But I feel like that those main points is very important because no one in the mainstream media is talking about what Mark managed to do, which is to show the flaws of the EFF and their leader, Julius Malema. And it's scary. Until now, right, I haven't seen one political opposition party, whether it be the DA, FF+, some people are saying ACDP, I haven't seen it. Any opposition party condemn what Julius said about him not pledging to slaughter white people. I haven't seen anything yet. If anybody is following me on social media, please tag me if you've seen something. But I haven't seen anything. Not from the Freedom Front, not from anyone. And there was someone who told me, like, Action SA hasn't said anything. Someone told me that, like, apparently in the new coalition rules, they're not allowed to condemn each other, something like that. Which is so convenient right now. I mean, really? That's just... I don't know. Politics, man. Yeah, it's entertaining at the same time. Very sad. Very, 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 very sad. Anyway, I'm not gonna dwindle too much on this. I really just wanted to bring this article to you guys' attention. Please go give the article a like and read through it. Rob goes into great detail to put his point across, and at least there's someone writing about the flaws of the EFF and share it with your friends and family, because at least someone is willing to write about the truth for once. Kid Fury is here saying good evening. Hello, Kid Fury. It's nice of you to join. And Pro Wrestling Podcast is also here. We need to chat about that interview. I keep on forgetting. Message me. Is that a Grand Theft Auto shirt? Sort of. It says Grand Theft Auto South Africa. It's from my clothing line, rebelstoresaday.com. We do not ship to the States, unfortunately. Sorry. But if you're in South Africa, link in description. Hello, David. Thank you for tuning in. Anyway, so moving on to the next thing that I wanted to chat about. This is from a guy who is going to be on the show soon. He goes by the name... I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name yet. I think I am. I don't know. But I'll go by his social media name, which is Troubled Cat. And he sent me an article that he wrote, which I've been waiting to read myself. And I read it today. It's brilliant. And I think everybody should, if you're wondering what's going on in today's world, if you're wondering why the world is so crazy, just go check out this article. You'll see it in the description, Troubled Cat article. It's not long. It's really not that long. It's really short. It's like a, I don't know, 5 minute max. Max. That's like if you've got dyslexia, it's going to take you 5 minutes, which is how long it took me. And then, um,
Emotional damage.
um, we joke. So anyway, again, just wanted to point out this one paragraph, which I think is brilliantly put. Progressivism is communism, just with makeup, representing big government, societal, economic, and personal controls. Its belief motivating this is that the people are incapable of meaningful independence. On the surface, it is forward-thinking, prioritizing progress and people. Yet the truth remains when one strips away the crude matter. A cancerous core greets you, etched with names famous and infamous from our history. And if that doesn't get you interested, I don't know what will. But yeah, he basically talks about how critical race theory, and all these other aspects to our society today can prove that communism is alive and well, even though we may have thought that it died in the Cold War. And yeah, he brings it towards South Africa, or he talks about it in a South African context, and also speaks about Black Lives Matter. He speaks about feminism, and ends it with a very nice conclusion. So I think, yeah, you guys should read that. The one thing that I do want to say on that matter is this is not a South African problem. It is a global problem. He obviously speaks about it in a South African context, like I said, and he will be on the show, and we'll be talking about LGBTQ. I don't know what the other letters are, plus. And yeah, we'll be talking about that community and its flaws, which I know is going to be a touchy subject for a lot of people. And it is what it is. We got to have conversations. We cannot be afraid of conversations. Okay? This is what the wokes have done very well, is make us scared of having conversations. Conversations that are not meant to hurt people. They're not meant to insult people. They're not meant to demean people. They're just meant to, it's like putting out there into the universe and letting the public and other people just have a conversation, I mean, we have these conversations anyway at Bry's, don't we? In the comfort of our own homes with our spouses or our partners or whatever. Why can't we have it in the public domain? Who says that we can't? Right? So some of these conversations may make you feel uncomfortable, but I think there will be a nice conclusion at the end, especially with some of these topics. So speaking of speech and being able to talk about what it is you want to talk about, I mean, I don't know if this is just coincidence or sheer happenstance, but Gareth Cliff releasing a blog earlier this week about cancel culture, the cancel cult, which I couldn't agree with him more. Now, we all know Gareth Cliff they've been trying to cancel him for a very long time. He's, in my opinion, uncancelable. I think the more they try and cancel him, the more famous he becomes, or infamous, whatever you want to call it. He's got his own platform, which is going strong. He grows and listens. He's probably the most famous podcaster in South Africa. He's like the Joe Rogan of South Africa in a sense, and he mentions Joe Rogan in here. He mentions a lot of things, but this is the paragraph that I really wanted to talk about. Is anyone who has read more than one history book, spent a few hours talking to someone they respect, or heard a compelling argument against their position, knows that the only way for us to evolve and improve is by conversation. Only by engaging respectfully discussing the tough issues of our time and hearing opposing viewpoints, will we have any hope of dying smarter than we were born? Unless we do these things, we also won't go anywhere exciting as a species. Without open dialogue, humanity is doomed to the much more rudimentary communication tools of baboons or chimpanzees. And I think this is the essence of what I'm trying to say, is that I want this show to be a platform where we can have open discussions, right? And I'll try my best to get people who know what they're talking about. I won't just get any willy-nilly, right? So I want to get people that know what they're talking about, that are well versed in what they're talking about, and have these open conversations, even if it makes people uncomfortable. Because these conversations, we used to have them all the time, right? We used to have these conversations all the time, and that somewhere in history we got scared, and it's cancel culture. I think is part of it. Nobody wants to have. It's so weird, man. Like, the far left are allowed to have an opinion, right? They can shout and scream and say whatever it is they want to say, but sure, anybody that's slightly to the right of them, shut up, right? And that's just not cool. I don't like that. So over here on this channel, I'll talk about the things that I like to talk about that interest me and hopefully interest you. And again, this is a live stream, so you guys can chat to me. Don't be shy. I see some of the comments coming in. Your jaw, I'm seeing a lump. Really? Don't worry, I don't think it's cancer. I don't see anything. I don't feel anything. Nah, I'm tripping. Okay, Kid Fury. So yeah, I think. By the way, go read the blog from Gareth Cliff. It is very good. If you don't want to read it, there's a video. So you can even watch it as he reads it. Very good. Well written. And yeah. I think it's well worth it for people to understand, because he describes it as a cancer. This wokeism, this cancel culture, just spreading, and it is. It's poisoning the minds of even good people, and I think there needs to be a kind of fight back. And his way of fighting back is saying, let's have open conversations. Let's have conversations where we don't feel that we're going to be prosecuted just because we have an opinion. And that opinion may not agree with yours, but do you really have to judge me on that one opinion? We can find common ground on a lot of other things. There's a lot of people that I know hate me in this world, like really hate me. And I'm pretty sure, ironically, that if we sat down and had a beer, we'd probably get along like really well. Not all of these people, because I hate them too, some of them, but most, I would say, I would say that most of them, I would probably be able to sit down with them, have a beer, they'd get to know me, I'd get to know them, and maybe we wouldn't agree with politics, but man, there's so much more to life than politics, right? Like, have you not seen my background? I'm into Star Wars and Marvel and Pirates of the Caribbean. I listen to grunge and punk rock, and I have so much little, and that's what I love about my background, is like, if you concentrate, you'll be able to see what I'm all about. I love music, and I enjoy shooting, going to a shooting range. Not that I have a gun, I'm working towards that, but I've done it and I enjoy it. I have a Nerf gun. We're far more complex as human beings than just, oh, well, you support EFF, so you must be condemned, or you support ANC, so you must be condemned. I question a lot of things, and I'm curious to know why. But to hate someone just because they have an opinion or a political view has always been crazy to me. Most of the time, anyway, when you engage with people these days, you don't even talk politics. Well, before COVID-19, I think before lockdown, even I was like ignoring politics for a little bit, I wasn't really into it. And then lockdown happened and we were kind of thrust into it. It's been a crazy ride, man. It's been a crazy ride. So yeah, I think one thing I also want to talk about is state of disaster, right? How do we feel? I mean, there was a article, which I'm going to look for now, state of disaster. Experts. Sorry, I just want to, because Cyril apparently said that state of disaster is ending. Let me put ending. Yeah, here we go. I think I found it. This is on the South African government website. Okay, so apparently President Ramaphosa announced that there's plans to scrap the national state of disaster as the country enters a new phase in the management of the COVID pandemic. Now that's worrying. But this is exactly what I want to speak to my panelists today about, because they are all fighting to end the state of disaster. And just the way some of these words are put makes me really, really concerned. So it's real achievement, blah, blah, blah. He reminded citizens of the vaccines. I've always said, blah, blah, blah. We'll be able to get our lives, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. The national state of disaster as soon as we... Okay, there it is. So what he says here, right? I'll show it to you guys. Okay. So this is on the government's website. And this is what he said. This is what he said. It is our intention to end the national state of disaster as soon as we have finalized other measures under the National Health Act and other legislation to contain the pandemic. That's the part that really, really worries me. And I want to know from the guys that are going to join me later if they have a plan to fight that. Because that could mean anything, guys. That could mean masks are going to be in law. That could mean we have to sanitize still, social distancing, restrictions on gatherings. I got a one-man show coming up, man. I want to make it like 80 people. I can only do 40 people now. And then winter's coming, so you know. I mean, I already saw articles about the fifth wave. You see that? Right on cue for winter. Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna have Marius Ritt from the IRR. I'm gonna have Ernst Mansell from AfriForum, and I'm gonna have Rob Hutchinson from Dear SA, and we're gonna chat about their fight to end the state of disaster. So I'll keep this open for now. And yeah. So yeah, I mean, I just thought I would share with you guys some of these articles. I think it's important to read some of them and get some alternative news in your life. I said yesterday that I was going to share with you guys a tweet that I put out. I don't know if some of you remember, but it's kind of where I stand on this whole thing. I don't know. I think where it came from was after my little rant about the media and AfriForum and EFF and how the media is just not getting it and blah blah. I got a lot of trolls on my timeline. Now I don't feed the trolls, right? I don't give a damn. Most of the time, if you insult me, I'll block you. And by the way, I have 3 rules when it comes to social media. Okay, They're my rules. I'm not saying anybody else has to have these rules, but they work out for me quite well because my timeline is quite enjoyable. And this is across the board, okay? TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, even YouTube, okay? If you come into my feed or my comment section or my live chats and you start insulting me, blocked. You start insulting a friend or a guest, blocked. If a friend or guest tells me to block you and they have good reason, I'll block you. So those are the 3 reasons why I block people. Okay? It's simple, it's easy, it works. If you've been blocked by me, that's probably why. So let me tell you, and a lot of people are always like, yeah, but if you block someone, like, that means you're intolerant, or I don't know, that means they won or some cock like that. Look, the block function is there for a reason. Use it. Trust me. It's the best thing you can do for your mental health, because some of these people don't care. Some of these people like really have nothing better to do. Like, they'll, no matter what you say, no matter how you put it, they will always have an answer because they have to be right or they have to be the last ones to say something. And I just don't have the time to entertain that. And then a lot of people say, yeah, but it's an echo chamber. Look, there's a lot of people that don't agree with me on a lot of things. And I've engaged them on Twitter. But the difference is I can have a civilized conversation with them and we don't end up insulting each other and we're still friends. So, yeah, it's not really an echo chamber if that's happening. But anyway, all these terms, again, used by the wokies to try and guilt trip you to succumb to their way so that you don't block them so that they can have their say. But here's the most beautiful thing. The moment you block them and you ignore them, they stop talking about you, which is great. But anyway, I just wanted to clear the air with a few things on where I stand with South Africa. And I wanted to put it out there. And it was something from the hearts as well. And I'll share it with you guys right now. Reminds me of the comment section in your recent TikTok video about Malema. So many trolls. Yeah, well, you're telling me, man. Like, I've like blocked most of them and tried to delete as many. It's insane how those things, how that comment section just blew up and that video blew up. Troubled Cat, ladies and gentlemen, in the house. I showed his article not too long ago, so please give him, I don't know if he has any content on his YouTube channel, but do follow him on Twitter and give his article a read. It's great. Well written. So yeah, and Trouble Cat will be on my show soon. I think we said March. I think so. And then Gavin is here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Gavin. He's probably watching me before Ronaldo comes on. Gavin, there is a panel discussion. It's gonna look, guys. Like, I don't love Ronaldo, but I like him. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy in my books. Look, Ronaldo's great and everything. You know, like, he's got 100,000 like subscribers. That's all good and well. But I'm gonna have a panel discussion later with 3 really cool guys: Rob Hutchinson, Ernst Massale, and Marius Rutt. Marius Rutt, first time he's going to be on the show, which I'm very excited about. We're going to be talking about ending the state of disaster. So why go to Ronaldo at 8 o'clock when you can be right here enjoying a nice panel discussion about ending the state of disaster and seeing people actually doing the good fight? So I'm just saying. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's great for you to join in. Like, if you want to watch Ronaldo, watch this show later. That's also fine. What I'll probably do in the next few days is I have to put up the interview with Mark Oppenheimer that I had yesterday on its own, and then the interview I had with Dwayne on its own, and then I'll probably put up depending on how long it is, the panel discussion on its own, or I might do it in sections. I think sections work out better. But anyway, if you missed it, don't worry. You can watch it again later. Okay. And if you're wondering when I'm going to be back, I'll be back this Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, for a Say What episode. Comedians roast the headlines. I'm talking like I'm ending the show, but I'm not. I'm just giving everybody an update. Anyway, speaking of which, there's 30 minutes until my guests join me at 8 p.m. And if you want more information on them, you can check out the description. I have left links to their Twitter feed in the description below. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, let me share with you this thread that I made on Twitter. Here it is. Okay, so feast your eyes. Sorry. So, like I said, this was a thread I wrote, and it says, there we go. Here's a thread from the heart. And this is where I stand on some of the issues in South Africa when it comes to the mainstream media and some people who just are part of this hate rhetoric that is going around, all these trolls and all these just disgusting people, the wokies of Twitter, the far left wokies of Twitter. This is where I stand. When it comes to what the mainstream media and politicians are trying to do to divide South Africans. So here's a thread from the heart. The more hate that is spread towards the people of South Africa, the more I grow to sympathize and love them. Don't get me wrong, I know there are good people here in South Africa, black, colored, Indian, Asian, foreigners, immigrants. There are really amazingly beautiful and kind people in South Africa, the majority of which I have. I'm just making sure that, the majority I have met throughout my existence in this country. But the hate towards the white Afrikaners and fellow black Africans really shocks me. Let's not forget the xenophobic attacks that happened not too long ago. All this hate worries me, but it also makes me want to scream at the top of my lungs, stop fighting. I know what it feels like to be hated, bullied, beaten, disgraced, ridiculed, told to go home and just die. Just because of my skin color or nationality. It's horrible, inhumane, disgusting behavior. So yes, I sympathize heavily with those that are hated in South Africa purely on the basis of where they are from, or the color of their skin. To hate a group of people on such a level like that is racist and xenophobic. No amount of wokeism, CRT will change that. So yes, I love Afrikaners, the coloreds, the blacks, the whites, the Indians, the Asians, the foreigners, the immigrants, the South Africans of this country. Even if they don't love me. I refuse to be part of the rhetoric that spreads hate. South Africa is filled with amazing people. But I will call out the hateful rhetoric when I see it, especially when it comes from the elites, mainstream media, and politicians. And that is the end of that thread. And that's where I stand. That's where I stand, ladies and gentlemen. You get a lot of people saying that I'm like paid by Afriforum to spread their stuff. It's like, I wouldn't mind if Afriforum, if you're listening, I'll ask Ernst later. Like, if you want to sponsor the show, like, I'm not going to say no. And someone once accused me of being sponsored by the IRR as well. It's like, guys, this is just my thoughts and opinions, man. Like, it's all rational, I think. But anyway, Gavin saying, share the love. Thank you, Gavin. And to think I wrote that while being asleep and depraved. Oh, come on. I'm sure you were not. I'm sure you were well focused. And Gavin saying, lovely, love it. Nicely put. Thank you, Gavin. Thank you very much. And that's where I stand. Anytime I see hatred being spread, and I think someone commented, let me actually show you guys. Troubled Cat, I want to see. Seeing that again, I see that parts of my article must have resonated with that. Definitely. So we'll see here. Someone commented, what do you mean hate spread towards South Africans? Who's spreading hate towards them? And it's like, obviously this is a troll or whatever, right? Like, I'm not even going to entertain that with a response. If you don't know what I'm talking about after reading that thread, then I cannot help you. You're probably part of the people who spread the hate. But yeah, it's disgusting behavior. And again, mainstream media should be ashamed of themselves because they definitely are a big part of it. As well as politicians, man. Like, and I'm talking about every politician. I'm talking about DA, Action SA, Freedom Front Plus, Cape Independence Party, all of them. I don't trust any of you. I respect like what you do or whatever, but I don't always agree with what you do. Some of the stuff is cool, some of the stuff isn't. A lot of you flip-flop. I think Freedom Front Plus is the only party that hasn't flip-flopped. And ACDP. I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, I don't politicians, man, like as long as they are part of spreading the hate, especially ones like Julius Malema, like I'm never going to trust any of them. As long as they perpetuate that, you know. And the media is just so scared of them. Like, I don't understand. And then, like, when you have an opinion about a politician, especially the ANC, you're, like, condemned. And it's like, when did politicians become kings and queens where we couldn't have an opinion about them? I mean, we can. You know, the South African Constitution is clear. I'm allowed to have an opinion, and I won't go to jail for having an opinion of a politician. But just the public can turn on you very quickly. It's like, well, yeah. That's just weird to me. Gavin saying, celebrating 3rd anniversary today. Well, congratulations. Wait, 3rd anniversary of what? Marriage. I'm like pausing as if like he's gonna reply right away. Congratulations either way. I hope. If you're celebrating your 3rd anniversary, why are you on YouTube, man? You should be going out having a nice dinner with the lovely lady. You know, how's the neck, by the way? So yeah, like congratulations. I wish there was a celebratory. Do I have anything? Yeah, here. There we go. We're all clapping for you, Gavin. Maybe this. Yay! Congratulations, Gavin. Yeah. So I don't know what this is. What's? Oh, okay. That's called a glockenspiel. On my thing here. Cool. Oh, okay. I thought that was a different typo. I thought that was just a typo, but he meant to say 30th anniversary. 30th. Well, that's oops, sorry. Stop. That's calls for celebration. Well done. 30th. Wow. 30 years. That's impressive, man. That's impressive. My parents didn't last that long, unfortunately. 28 years, and then they... But yeah, 30 years. Well done. Well done. Don't see a lot of that. I once met a couple at a wedding. Cause I used to MC weddings, right? So, which I'll still do, by the way. So if anybody needs an MC for a wedding, I'm not saying that like I'm done with that. I'm just saying like I used to do it a lot. Obviously, lockdown stopped that from happening. Not a lot of weddings. Anyway, not the point. If you need an MC, let me know. But once I was MCing a wedding, and there was a couple there that were together for over 50. I think it was like 55 years or something. And I was like, wow, 55 years. Bruh. 55 years. That is impressive. That's like half a century, man. Imagine being with someone for half a century. I'm not condemning it. I'm very impressed. I love it. I hope that, I even live for another 50 years. I don't even know. So like, wow. Just to imagine the amount of stuff that people have been through for 55 years married together. It's impressive, man. Yeah, so Gavin's saying thanks. You're most welcome, Gavin. You're most welcome. Really awesome. Really, really awesome. All right, so we are in the final moments, ladies and gentlemen, of my guests, my panelists joining us. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. I'm really going to enjoy chatting to these gentlemen just now about ending the state of disaster. Yes. So, okay. Well, I thought my topics would last a bit longer. I see there's still 20 minutes until my guests join me. So, if you guys have any questions, don't be shy. You can let me know. If anybody wants to know how my gym thing is going, it's not. I know. I'm very disappointed in myself, but it's been quite hectic on my side. And I wanted to go yesterday. I didn't wake up in time. Today, I don't know what happened. I woke up late. I overslept. Even though I slept early. My body was just insanely tired. So tomorrow, I'm hoping I can wake up early. 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go back to gym. Which means I'll have to go to gym Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But that's fine. I got to go. I got to do it. I have definitely fallen off the wagon, and it's not cool. It's not good. And I refuse to just toss away the progress that has happened. And I haven't been to gym in like a week and a half. So it's getting bad, guys. It's getting bad. I can still feel my muscles are still there. They haven't completely disintegrated. But yeah, I mean, like you see, this is why I post, because it holds me accountable. Yes, they did stop, Gavin. You're right, and I feel terrible. But I know tomorrow, gonna get back in there, gonna do some bench presses, man. Yeah, I really want to develop my chest. That's what I'm after, and my arms, obviously. I just want to get in shape, really. And I can't wait. So I fell off the wagon a little bit. I haven't been too bad with eating though. Like, it's not like I don't feel that I've gained the weight back at all. Like, I just feel, how do I say, like, I feel bad. I feel disappointed in myself. I was doing such a good thing. Like, I know that had I gone, like, don't get me wrong, guys. Like, it's been tough to find the time to go. I've been tired. It's every weekend there's something. But I know that had I gone for the past week and a half, I'd probably be further in my goals, if I can put it that way. But it's fine. It's fine. I will get back on the horse tomorrow, and I will post, Gavin. You will see a post tomorrow on Instagram, I promise. Maybe I shouldn't promise. I'm kidding. No, I'm going to do it. I have to do it. I need to do it. Anyway. I miss it, man. Like, it's not that I don't want to. I definitely want to. Anyway, 15 minutes until the panelists join me. My guests join me. I'm very much looking forward to it, and now I am shaking myself. I don't know why. Yeah. So, any questions, guys? Thanks for all the likes. It's much greatly appreciated. I don't always ask people to like my streams. Not because I don't want them to, but because, like, I don't know. I always, like, I suck at asking people, like, hey, become a member. Yeah, you know. Become a member. Like, don't get me wrong. Become a member. But I just suck at doing the whole, like, subscribe. Yeah, you know. Anyway, some exciting news coming, ladies and gentlemen, about the Cape Independence Party. Not party, sorry, Cape Independence Movement. Coming up. Going to be releasing that on Monday, so stay tuned. Look out for that video coming Monday. Some big news. Gavin, goals can be moved as long as you still go. Thank you, Gavin. I like that. Yeah. Look, it's still 6 months, right? So what I'm doing is I'm counting it day by day. I'm only counting the days that I go to gym, right? So I've stopped at... What the hell? I've stopped at day... Where is the last one? Wow, it's been that long. No. Okay. 37. Day 37 of 162. So technically it's going to be longer than 6 months, right? Might be a year. Depends on how often I go to the gym. I'm going to try and push myself next week to catch up a little bit. I might go 5 times a week, but it's so hectic, man, to go 5 times a week. Like it's really tough. It's really, really tough to go 5 times a week, but I'm going to try. Maybe 4 times even, but just to like get myself back into it. But yeah, my last day was day 37 of 182. So when I do 182 days, that will be 6 months, equivalent to 6 months, or it will be 6 months of gymming, solid, right? But I'm not going to gym every day. You know what I mean. How are the stand-up bookings coming along? Well, yeah, I don't really advertise the stand-up comedy stuff as much anymore, mainly because it's not my main source of income. So like I opened for Barry, as some of you know, for 2 weeks, which was awesome. Well, I say 2 weeks, but it was like 4 days. It was just over 2 weeks. And that was a lot of fun. I still chat to Barry. I actually need to give him a message tomorrow. And I've got a one-man show coming up, man. So do check it out. Link is in the description if you're in Cape Town. Yeah, Gavin, you were like asking me, when am I going to do a show? I'm doing a show on the 4th of June. Go check out, link in the description. And yeah. That's when I'm going to be doing my one-man show. Other than that, like corporate bookings and stuff like that, still slow. Weddings and stuff like that. Like I enjoy emceeing. Like I love emceeing. It's like really a lot of fun. I emceed a gig last year with Barry as well. That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So yeah, hopefully it picks up again soon. I probably should advertise a little bit more as well. But here I am, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody watching? I do MC work. All right. So Trouble Cat saying you should check out Turbo Fire. The first couple of weeks is 6 days of hell. Man. Will do. Gonna be awesome. Thanks, Gavin. Yeah, check out the link. I think it's tickets to my show or something like that. The link is in the description. You'll find it. So yeah. 4th of June, ladies and gentlemen. It's all going down. Show, if you're wondering where it is, it's in Kells River. Tickets include a meal. Okay, don't freak out with the price. Tickets include a meal. So yeah, you get a meal, like a nice meal and entry. So I mean, come on, like what do you want? And if you're a headliner, if you support this channel and you're a headliner tier, you get discount on my tickets, on my live shows. So that's one perk. I mean, there's other perks if you're a headliner, but that's one perk that you'll get. Paco saying West Side. Wait, how do you... West Side. Sorry, I probably shouldn't do that again. Cool. West Side. Paco. Why does that name sound so familiar? Like I feel like it was a character in a movie or a series. Paco. The line "Don't tell Paco" comes to mind. Can't remember now. Don't tell Paco. That's the line in the series of the movie. Paco. Man, I can't remember now what movie that was. I know. Anyway. It's gonna bother me now. Anyway, can't remember. Cool. So, what else can we talk about, ladies and gentlemen? Next time I'll have some other stuff prepared. I mean, I had stuff prepared, but I didn't think I was going to go through it so quickly. But a reminder to those of you who are just tuning in, I went through some articles earlier on in the show, so please go check them out. The link is in the description. A article from Robert Daigen, very interesting article about the mainstream media and how they are not saying anything about Julius Malema and the horrible things that he said in the trial. Then there's an article from Troubled Cat about communism, which I think everybody should read. Like really, like progressivism is the new face of communism. So please go check that out. And of course, Gareth Cliff releasing an article about cancel cult, which I think everybody should also read to navigate this crazy world of cancel culture, when what you can do to perhaps not avoid, but fight it in a way. And that's through having open conversations with people and not being afraid to have an opinion, even if it differs from someone else. We're all entitled to an opinion, even if it's wrong. Even if it's wrong. And then, of course, I've got to get to gym. I was thinking, like, someone asked me to do a blog of my gymming. And I'm like, I don't really, like, ironically, even though I'm a comedian and I write jokes, I don't write, like, blogs. I don't like blogs. Like, you can't sit me down long enough to write a blog. You just can't. Yeah. Cool. So, we've got about 7 minutes until everybody starts joining. So, in just a moment, my guests will start calling in, and then we'll take a 5-minute break, ladies and gentlemen. I say 5 minutes, but sometimes it's shorter because, I mean, sometimes everybody's here on time, and then I can just start when everybody's ready. So, say 2 to 5 minute break. Okay? And don't judge my break advertising. Okay? I will improve it in time. Oh, and for those of you who keep on complaining about the music during the break, I have to use royalty-free music, ladies and gentlemen. I can't just use, like, Nirvana. Yeah, as much as I would love to. Like, I can't. So, I'm sorry if the music sounds like an elevator song. I'm sorry if the music isn't to your liking. Blame YouTube, okay? Blame YouTube. Because, yeah, I gotta get some of these video monetized. So you know what I mean? Anyway, so I will try. And, yeah, I know, Paco. I saw the headline. I was just saying the other day, like, isn't that woman, like, gonna kick the bucket anytime soon? Like, not that I want her to. I'm just saying, like, she's old. She's outlived, like, everyone. Like, I mean, like, it's just odd to me that she's still alive. Like, but I mean, like, okay, apparently she's not that old. Well, she's old, but it's like I think Nelson Mandela died when he's 95. Apparently the Queen is 91. So, who knows? Maybe, you know, she'll live to be 100. I mean, even if she does live to be 100, that's pretty cool. I was just speculating. I was like, and then she got the C-19. The music sounds like a movie from The Hub. I don't think I've seen that, but it sounds familiar. Okay, cool. So my guest should be calling in any time now, and we will go on a 5-minute break as soon as one of them calls. It is 5:02, so they should be trying to call in any time now. So, ladies and gentlemen, coming up after the break is a panel discussion. Discussion, not debate. Okay, it's a panel discussion, panel night, panel discussion. Okay, with AfriForum's Ernest Ritz and Marius. No, not Ernest Ritz. Sorry, I misspoke there. Ernst van Sale. Get them confused. Ernst van Sale will be on the show. Conscious Caracal from AfriForum will be talking about. And there's one of them now. Marius Rutt will be here. He's actually calling in now. And of course, Rob Hutchinson is joining as well from Dear SA. So these three organizations are fighting the good fight to end the state of disaster. We're going to be talking about that. And like I said, I'll be bringing to them some questions about progress and, of course, about what the president said apparently during SONA, even though like I didn't hear him say that during SONA, but okay. Deborah just joining us saying, hello, Joe. Rocco also tuning in, and Paco saying, okay, well, now I know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be back in 5 minutes. Hopefully the other panelists will join in. But yeah, enjoy this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 5 minutos, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. While we're having a bit of a break and while we're here, I just thought I would let you guys know that you can become a member to this channel. When you become a member to this channel, there are 2 tiers. There's the Support Act and the Headliner Act. Each tier has its own perks. I'm not going to go into all the details right now, but just click on the join button, usually right next to the subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed yet, by the way, subscribe. If you want to become a member, it would be greatly appreciated. It really goes a long way to supporting the channel and helping me to continue to create content for you guys. And just in case you might be interested, for some of you who may not know, I am also a stand-up comedian, and I have a one-man show coming up in June of this year. There is a link in the description with all the details that you need to know, when, where, and how much, so please go check it out in the description below. There's also another show that I'm doing with fellow comedians. You may have seen our Say What show on this channel or the Late Night Chat show on this channel. We're doing a live show, and that's kind of a pun there because we mean in person with a live audience show. Please go to the link in the description below where you can find all the details. It is called Say What Unbuffered. So once again, take a gander at the links below and all the information will be there. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Joe Emilio Show. I am here with none other than 3 lovely gentlemen. As you can see, on my left is Rob Hutchinson. Below me is Ernst van Sale, and someone new to the show, has been on my show before, Marius Rutt from IRR. Thank you so much, Marius, for making the time to join us this evening, and same for the other gentlemen. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So, guys, I've seen all 3 organizations. So for the people who may not know, Rob is from DRSA, Ernst van Sale from AfriForum, and Marius Rudd from IRR. All three of these organizations are busy in the fight to end the state of disaster. All three of you have somewhat different campaigns, but all aimed at the same thing, right? You're taking different angles. I thought, what a great opportunity to maybe discuss with each of you the way you guys intend on fighting this. But I also have an important question to ask you once we've established that. So we'll start with Rob. Perhaps you can briefly tell us how DRSA has started the fight to end the state of disaster.
Thanks, Joe, and thanks for having me on. And hi, other guys. It's good to see you again. Lovely. I think we've taken a slightly different approach, and it's maybe an extension of what we were doing some time ago. We've been involved in quite a few challenges against the lockdown and various regulations, and this is just an extension of that. We approached it at the end of 2019 with a challenge to prevent an extension of the state of disaster, or using the Disaster Management Act. And we had to reconsider it after some serious discussions with various legal teams, and a few financial issues that were raised internally, and so on. And as we sort of filed our papers in 2019, was it 2019 or 2020? Sorry, 2020. 2020. The state update testing, and suddenly the figures went through the roof, and really it was obviously a deliberate ploy to attack the challenge from a sideline. But here we are again. Situation has changed. The environment is completely different, and pretty much in our favor this time. I think public perception has completely shifted. People are now questioning things a lot more. There are a lot more facts on the table, and it's clear that the need for a state of disaster under the DMA is no longer applicable, and especially because so many regulations have been withdrawn, which pretty much makes it obsolete. All it's doing is keeping government in power, keeping power with a handful of people, and one minister in particular, which really doesn't go down well with society. So the danger lies with the state having far too much power and able to enact ridiculous things at any time that they feel fit. There's clearly no science behind their decisions, and I think that's where we're coming from this time. We're going to challenge it all the way, even if government does end the state of disaster. We will still carry on and try and set a legal precedent there, because we know for a fact that the regulations will just be shifted towards the health under the Health Act, which will make it a lot more difficult to challenge. So we need a legal precedent before that happens.
Fantastic. All right. So before I ask you some questions about that, and for those of you that are also listening, I see a lot of comments coming in that they watched Conscious Clerical and then they jumped over to here. So thank you, Conscious Clerical, for telling people to join on this stream. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hit the subscribe, or at least hit the like. So Marius, I'll come to you, man. IRR, how are they? What's their angle? What are they doing? How far are you? Yeah.
Well, we've got our legal team to write letters to the president and Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, and give their reasons, scientific reasons, for why there is still a lockdown, especially around the possibility of people being detained if they are found to be positive or infected with COVID. They won't have there might be a possibility they can be detained by the government, rather than being allowed to isolate at home, whatever the case is. And also the issue of not allowing gatherings at sports stadiums, whether it's cricket or rugby or soccer or whatever the case is. We saw, at malls and so on, malls have been packed. And we also saw during the election campaigns last year, and this was from all the political parties actually, they had, there was no social distancing and what have you. And whatever you think of social distancing, people or parties like the ANC, which is the governing party, which is giving us these regulations, was flouting them. We saw pictures of President Ramaphosa at rallies where there were, the loads of people, nobody wearing masks, nobody social distancing, which we can maybe agree that silly things, don't stop you getting COVID. But if those are the regulations the government itself has said we need to follow, then the governing party should probably be following those regulations. We've also seen at funerals where, especially of ANC stalwarts, where people didn't follow regulations. So it makes no sense we have these, especially in a sports stadium where you are outside. You can perhaps, now there's a limit of about 2,000 people allowed in stadiums, which can hold 30,000 people. It makes no sense, and it's been scientifically proven. It is just about impossible to catch COVID and actually any kind of respiratory virus when you're outside. So it makes no sense to not allow people to go to watch cricket or rugby or soccer or whatever the case might be. So, we're writing to the president and, of course, we already have. We're asking them for scientific reasons why we still have these various regulations. This is all part of our campaign to have the National Coronavirus Command Council disbanded. It's obviously a very undemocratic body. It's been basically governing the country for 2 years with no oversight whatsoever. And also the difference between a state of disaster and a state of emergency is also quite important here. A state of disaster does not need Parliament's say-so to keep it extended, where a state of emergency has to. And if I recall correctly, after 3 months, a state of emergency needs a 60% majority in Parliament to get extended again. With the state of disaster, there's been no parliamentary oversight whatsoever. The National Coronavirus Command Council has been, giving us these silly regulations, which has destroyed people's lives. We've also seen people have been killed. We all know what happened to Collins Khoza, Petrus Michels, and not one person has been punished for that or brought to book for that. In other countries, we would have seen people have been thrown into jail, might even have brought governments down in other countries. In South Africa, people just shrug their shoulders, poor Collins Khoza, and nothing happens. Nobody gets held to account for that. But anyway, so this is all part of our broader campaign to have the National Coronavirus Command Council disbanded. And I think we are making progress. If you see what Joe Pachla, the Minister of Health, said a little while ago, he acknowledged that it was there has been a lot of pressure from civil society bodies, including the three that we represent here, the three of us, and other bodies, to have these regulations pushed back against. And I think, if it hadn't been for the work of the South Africa Forum, the Institute of Race Relations, and others, I think we'd probably be sitting looking at a state of disaster that could be carrying on into perpetuity. And also, I don't know if there would have been a municipal government election last year if it hadn't been pressure from civil society bodies. I think we could have had an unconstitutional extension of the terms of municipal councils, which would have been a very bad outcome for South African democracy.
Absolutely. Thank you, by the way, Marius and IRR, for the work you guys are doing in DRSA and AfriForum. Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, please, while you're here, if you don't know who these people are, which I highly doubt you don't, but if you don't, please check out the description below. I've linked their Twitter, I've linked their websites to their organizations, I've linked Conscious Caracal's YouTube channel, DRSA's website, IRR's website, which we'll talk a bit about another campaign from the IRR in just a moment. But Ernst, welcome back. It's good to see you again. Thanks again for the punt. And yeah, how is AfriForum? What's their angle in the pursuit to end the state of disaster?
Well, Joe, yeah, I'm glad to be back. Always nice to chat to you about these issues. I just wanted to say I wanted to get as many. I just stopped streaming just before this episode. I wanted to get as many people over here as possible because I actually had a record amount of people watching. I was doing analysis of the Julius Malema court case. But yeah, when I make an obligation to someone to come on their show, I keep to it. So they have to come listen to me on your platform rather than my own. When it comes to AfriForum and Solidarity stance on the state of disaster, it's pretty simple. It's not really complicated stuff. It's that, well, firstly, there is currently no disaster. There hence doesn't need to be a state of disaster. If I had to make an argument that there's a state of disaster, I would say the ANC still being in power in South Africa is a state of disaster for the country. When you look at the unemployment records that they're breaking, infrastructure falling apart, record unrest, The list goes on. That would definitely be maybe a disaster. But when it comes to COVID-related stuff, there's no disaster. There's nothing warranting a state of disaster at all. So just maybe for some context, I'm glad that Rob is here as well, because he was his organization, Dear SA, actually did a joint opposition to the state of disaster with AfriForum, and we're very appreciative of him for lending their massive support that they also have behind them. So just for some context, some little bit of some legalese. AfriForum and Solidarity also, we served our Solidarity as our the labor union, our sister organization, and we served our court documents in the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria, in which we requested the court to declare the continuation of the current state of disaster invalid. So we'll see now. The ANC has promised that this is the last time. This is the last time we're going to be extending it. I don't think they can afford to keep extending it. I think the damage is really building up, and their goodwill is completely exhausted. The little bit that they have left. But there is a disturbing trend that led up to this point, and that's the continued extension of the state of disaster. I think that's something that really needs to be focused on, is the fact that the ANC just kept extending it, and the state of disaster needs to end, because if it doesn't, it's within that legal framework where they can just snap their fingers and say, well, now religious gatherings are banned. Now beaches, you can't go to beaches anymore. Fried chicken or cooked chicken, no, you can't go buy cooked chicken at this time. Sandals, stop what you're doing. No more sandals, please. That's what the ANC can do under the state of disaster. That's how it goes. That's how it works. So that's why it's integral to get it ceased and to stop this piece of legislation. But then at the same time, I also think the timing now is perfect, seeing as if you're taking on, I think my, I wanted to say bondgenote in Afrikaans, my allies here in this conversation on the panel would agree. A lot of people would have said, well, why didn't you take on the state of disaster exactly when it started? And I'm like, well, when you're taking on a massive piece of draconian legislation like this, it's like hunting a buffalo with spears. You don't just throw one spear and it's through the heart and you got it. You chip away at it and you make it tired. I mean, there were other organizations that tried to take it on at the beginning, and it didn't work. And I mean, that set the precedent where we realized this is going to be a much bigger fight. And when we talked to our legal team, they said the time is ripe now. This piece of draconian legislation has been weakened to the point where we can actually strike a fatal blow now. So that's pretty much the explanation for the timing. And I think the end is nigh.
Fantastic, man. Some shots fired, by the way. I see some people commenting that during your little rant there. But yeah, I agree 100%. And just see, I got somewhat of a interesting question here. Are Crocs sandals?
I don't know what Crocs are. I don't know what they are classified as. They're classified as an abomination.
Okay, so guys, if you do have questions, do keep them coming. I do keep an eye on them, and I do keep them for later. So I will, any questions I will pass on to the panelists at a later stage towards the end. But do keep the questions coming in. All right, so Ernest, you brought up something that I actually wanted to talk to you guys about, which is very concerning, and I'm going to show you guys this article from. Well, it's not an article. It's more like a press release, I guess, from the president himself, or the government themselves, rather. I showed it earlier. Let me see if I can show it again. Where is it? I don't know if you guys can see it. Tell me if you can. Yeah. So there's a part in this section where it says here, it's our intention to end the national state of disaster as soon as we have finalized other measures under the National Health Act and other legislation to contain the pandemic. Now, here's my question about that, which does worry me quite a bit. Let me just get you. Let me just get you guys back here. There we go. All right. Hopefully people can see us. If people can't see us, just let us know. But Yeah, the question is, that worries me because it sounds like, they're going to try and put some of the regulations that were in the state of disaster in the Health Act, right? Is there something you guys can do to prevent that? Or do they have complete free reign? Whatever they do now, whatever the ANC wants to do now, they can just make it happen, and then you guys will have to fight it afterwards. We'll start with IRR, Marius, if you want to answer that.
Yeah, well, I think it's with any kind of legislation that comes in and it's shown to be quite poor, you got to start fighting it right at the beginning, where you start having the public hearings and so on. And one thing, some people might disagree with me, but the ANC has been shown to, when there is really strong public opposition to something, they normally take a step back. It's part of their strategy of how they do things. They'll normally come with some really crazy harebrained idea, like saying we're going to cut off everybody's arms. And they're like, no, that's crazy. And they say, okay, we're just going to cut off everybody's pinky fingers. It was like, okay, well, it's much better than just losing a whole arm. And the people go along with it. So it's a strategy that the ANC does. But just one of these things, you have to keep up the pressure. You've got to use all the legal options that you have, which include, using allies, whether they're in parliament or outside of other members of civil society. You've got to use the courts. You've got to use petitions and so on. So, and I think these are obviously not, this does sound a bit ominous, but they're still very early in the fight. And I think you've got to get in right at the beginning. And I think it's definitely something that can be fought against. And also you can look at other precedents. Probably one of the things that I would imagine is what they're saying is where people who have COVID could be held against their will. That is not a new concept in South Africa. We've had it with tuberculosis, with TB. People who were infected with TB were held against their will in basically quarantine camps, and there was actually lots of pushback against that from doctors and academics and so on, who were saying you can't hold somebody who has not done anything, has not broken any law, has not harmed anybody or stolen anything. You can't detain them basically indefinitely. And that's what was happening with people at TB. And imagine this is the same kind of thing that might happen with these COVID regulations. So yeah, but it's just something you've got to get. I mean, it'll obviously be a long fight, but something you have to get in right now, I think.
Cool. Sorry, Marius. I'm just trying to see if people can see us. Having a bit of problems with my program here. What do you guys see on your side?
Just the shared screen.
Just the shared screen. You can't see yourselves. Okay, let me just try something here. Sorry, gents. Sorry, everyone that is watching. Let's try going. Why is this happening? Come on.
You did share quite an interesting video there. That was
that was an ad for Manscaped. I was checking what people could see. Let's see. Yeah, this is so weird because on my side I can see us, but like for some reason I can't switch over here. All right.
I think if all else fails, you can just go back to the cameras. I think we've got the quote now, or the gist of it, if that helps.
Yeah. Let me just try and see if I can do that, because I'm actually struggling to the one function is the problem here. Let me just go back to my scenes. Where is it? Sorry, everybody. Please just bear with me. This doesn't normally happen. Where is it? Overlays, sound. It's not that. Comments, interview setting. Where's my, really now? Okay. Tell you what, I'm going to try and restart the stream. I know that sounds dangerous, but I think I can do it. I've done it before. So everybody just stay here. Don't worry. It's going to be like, it's going to pause for a second, then we'll be back. And then gents, you can just use the same link to call back in. Okay. Just literally count to like 30 seconds. All right. 3, 2, 1.